Teachers of Reddit, what are some of the weirdest things you've confiscated from a student? If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more. A Ziploc bag of pink Crayola crayons that he sliced perfectly into small discs with a razor blade. He was trying to market them in the hallways as hallucinogenic pills. A pencil with a bunch of glued-on dick-shaped confetti. When teaching pre-K, I had to confiscate a grenade. There was very serious confusion and terror when I saw him and told my aide that Timmy is holding a grenade. No, not a toy. Timmy. Name confidential. What do you have there, buddy? He tells me excitedly that it's a grenade. I asked him where he got it and he said he found it in the trees by his house. You know, as you do in Midwest America, just find grenades in the trees. I made him give it to me immediately. It turned out to be hollowed out and I believe it was a World War II pineapple grenade. His mom called maybe 4 hours later to tell us, hey, I forgot to mention Timmy wanted to bring his grenade to school. Y'all can just put it in his cubby. She also explained that he just found it. I still can't believe that happened. How do you just find a grenade? Why do you let your child bring it to school? So many other questions. A taxidermied kookaburra. She taught herself how to do it from books. It was not done well. Edit. Just to clarify, apparently it was dead, having been hit by a car, when she found it. Small Tupperware container of swamp water. Student was trying to stick a large suction cup dildo, like the ones you use in the shower, to another student's locker. He actually asked what the problem was. I taught English in South Korea for a year. One time I caught a kid doing the old comic book inside a textbook routine. I was surprised. I didn't know kids did that. After laughing, I confiscated his comic book. A vitamin B12 vape pen. Didn't know they existed. A white lacy thong from a kindergartner. She was wearing it on her head. Not a teacher but a kid brought a human skull to school. I think the teacher just had a conversation with him about it. Edit. To answer some questions, the skull was real. The kid was a baddie. His folks were more likely meth cooks than doctors. It didn't get donated. The school in question was near a rural mountain area where a lot of people lived who wanted to be left alone. The provenance of the skull was, at the most conservative, dubious. A nugget of weed wrapped in tin foil that a kid stole from his dad when he was mad at him. A sugar glider. Kept hearing a high-pitched squeak in class. Noticed she had a small animal in her jacket pocket when it decided to poke its head out. Not confiscated but actually given as a gift. A bag of her hair. A bag of every strand of hair she's had cut since birth. I teach little ones, so nothing nearly as risque as some of the others in this thread. I've confiscated handcuffs, a wrench, baby bottles, and a variety of bugs and small animals the kiddos caught out at recess. A colleague confiscated an adult movie from a 5-year-old. The kid didn't know what it was, didn't even know that it was a videotape, or anything about it. It just looked cool, the tape itself. He didn't know of the content. A homemade arrow made with a pencil and a modified razor blade. A raccoon penis toothpick. He kept poking other kids with it. Sigh. My father took a cleaver off a student. My dad was doing lunch duty and saw the kid open his jacket and motion his buddies to have a look. Turns out there was going to be a fight after school. My dad knew the kid and asked him to step into the hallway. He got the cleaver off the kid and took him to the office. I'm not sure what his punishment was, but pre-Columbine, so who knows. My friend had his toasty machine banned just when he started to make a profit. Camp counselor here. We have permission to go through bags to confiscate prohibited items like food and electronics and knives. One girl had a Tupperware full of what looked like the oldest peanut butter imaginable smeared all over the Tupperware. I brought it to my co-workers, and we all tried to smell it, but it smelled different to all of us. Literally no clue what this shit was. Asked the girl about it one day and she goes, that's my plant, like it's obvious. Apparently it was some kind of fungus or algae to apply to sunburns. Edit, it's in the woods. They can't keep food on them because of bears and other wildlife. We aren't starving them, I promise. I had to confiscate an 11th grader's laptop because she was going to mature-themed chat rooms during class. Specifically ones for married men looking to chat with young girls. Then, after she wasn't allowed to bring her laptop or phone to school anymore, she later got banned from school Chromebooks for doing it again. She was not very bright. In music class, this kid Oliver pulls out a Matchbox car and starts playing. Teacher takes it, turn around, places it on piano, turns back. Hayes already gotten the next one out of his pocket and it back to playing, so she took it again, rinse repeat. Funniest shit ever to an 8-year-old. We laughed so fucking hard. A little orange lizard in a box with a Charizard Pokémon card taped to it. Edit, to clarify, the card was taped to the box. Wow, this blew up. Now I understand the meaning of inbox spam. A can of Axe, only because he sprayed another student with it. And to be fair to the student doing the spraying, the other student had gym class the previous period, and had not changed out or showered. He did smell, in the words of the Axe-spraying student, like a dead rotting moose. But after the spraying he smelled like a dead rotting moose that had been sprayed with Axe body spray. It was not an improvement. This happened in the classroom where someone once optimistically hung up a green apple-scented Wonderbomb. That also did not help. I'm not a teacher, but my wife is. She once confiscated a school-issued iPad chock full of anime tentacle porn from a 13-year-old girl. It wasn't exactly a confiscation. Some of my students thought it would be a good idea to bring me 2 chickens. 2 live chickens. They knew my daughter had a pet duck that had recently died, so this was their idea to help us get past the grief. I had to keep them in a carrier in my classroom closet in the dark just so they would be quiet. The chickens, not the kids. By the end of the day I found a kid with a grandmother that had a farm. She took the chickens home. Edit, here's her duck in better days. https://i.imager.com/5xi6wl.jpg. Student, a teacher confiscated a dildo from a student. This was in 7th grade. The naked lady booby lighter. Kid was 7th or 8th grade in an alternative school setting. He was always sneaking stuff in his pockets and getting it taken up. We are walking to lunch and my assistant stops suddenly. He comes back with a metal naked woman torso in his hand. You could press one boob and the flame came out of the other. It was fantastic. It was super popular in the office for the few days until mom came to pick it up. She was really glad to get family heirloom back. Didn't confiscate anything, but I'm a sub, and a few weeks ago, I was at a rough school and I heard one kid whisper to another kid, "Hey, I'd like to place an order." Shit. So, I'm keeping an eye on him, and then another kid says, "Oh yeah, I need some too." I ask them what they're doing. The kid taking the orders says pizza. Sure. Anyways, I continue to eavesdrop. At one point, he's on his iPad and I sneak behind him to see what he's looking at. He is straight up on the Domino's website. I guess he had just gotten a job there and was using his discount or something, which I'm pretty sure his boss wouldn't be happy with, but it wasn't what I thought it was. A turtle. She had stolen it from the biology teacher's room and had it in the bathroom sink. A bottle of passion fruit lube brought in by a 4-year-old, making all her friends smell her fruity hand cream. Poor mama must have had a long night and mixed up her eczema cream. A brick decorated with hentai in the locker of a 14-year-old boy. He was very different, that kid, not a confiscation, but when my 4/5-year-olds were getting changed for PE, a little girl opened GER bag and out fell a bunch of very sexy lingerie. 10 minutes later at the window I have a very red mum with the correct kit in hand saying she mixed up the dry cleaning with the daughter's PE kit. I pretended I hadn't seen. Bonus edit. When I asked him why he brought it in, he said, "For the skulls of my enemies." He didn't have friends, but not because he was odd. Even the odd kids hated his guts, but because he was horrible and obnoxious to everyone. Worked on his social skills with him for a long time and allowed him to run a manga club in my classroom Friday lunchtimes. Whilst I was in there, he made friends in the end and had a much nicer life since that club. He's a happy 18-year-old now with a girlfriend and kids, smiley face. Having a kid at 16 was the normal in the deprived area, so him having a family, his own place and a job he enjoys is good. He messages me on Facebook every now and then to check in and tell me how his life is. Just because that's not happiness to some of you, please do not shit on his. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more content.